Microphone 6. Microphone 6. That's you.
Sorry. I'm Michelle Moran from Delaware, and Delaware does oppose this, but I'm really speaking right now from my role. Many of you know that I was on the Federal Relations Committee for 9 years, the last 5 of those as chair. When I first went on to federal relations, there was not a single piece of regulatory legislative demo language that included board certification or maintenance of certification. By the time I left, virtually everything that we saw that related to these topics included some sort of board certification or maintenance of certification language. So I'm going to completely agree with Clark that this is necessary for us. We do not want to spend 20 years trying to get back into something that comes down when we could have, by continuing to do what we're doing, have a credible and optional way for our membership to make sure that they can participate, whether it's a new delivery system of healthcare, the medical home demonstration project team. We saw all these medical home demos all contain that type of language. And that's not the only. So yes, maybe Medicare and Medicaid may not require board certification, maintenance certification, but there are plenty of other ways that this is going to be used, and we have to be sure that we don't take away the opportunity for members to have a credible procedure for being board certified, have maintenance of certification, to be able to participate. And it may not be today and tomorrow, but I believe in my heart that before everything's said and done, it absolutely is necessary.
Microphone 5.
Chris Colburn, Vice President of New York. We in New York recognize and respect our differing views amongst our colleagues and respect those views. We had a similar resolution considered within our state House of Delegates, which actually failed to pass our House of Delegates for many of the reasons just discussed. This resolution has the potential to expose this association and its members to financial harm, and I encourage a similar defeat within this House.
Microphone 5.
Jerry Ellington, President of North Carolina. As delegates from our state, we feel that we should be representing our rank and file ODs back home. On June the 4th, 2011, at the business meeting of the North Carolina State Optometric Society, at our annual spring conference, there was great support for this resolution, and the members present at that meeting voted to send their delegates instructed to vote in favor of this resolution. So we feel like we're representing our colleagues back home and their wishes. Thank you.
Microphone 3.
Dr. Roger Jordan, Wyoming. I'm going to speak to you as of 2 different seats. I'm currently your FRAC chair. I served with Michelle. I'm in my 11th year on federal relations, and so I can agree with everything that Michelle said. I'm going to now put on a hat that is no longer in effect. I was a member of the PPAC committee, which is a CMS physician council that dealt with fee-for-service Medicare. It's a 15-member council. I was the only non-MD physician on the council. It was actually dissolved because of the ACA passage. But during the tenure that I was on this council, CMS has demo projects come up to investigate, like the medical home project, for instance, and numerous times the requirement for physicians to participate is they had to be board certified. We've talked about, are we at the table or not at the table? These were times we were not at the table, and we need to be at that table at every opportunity to show them what we can do and how well we can do it. So I wholeheartedly think we should vote against this resolution.
Dr. Ellis, microphone 3.
Mr. Speaker, Dr. Joe Ellis, President of the American Optometric Association. Mr. Speaker, I ask your permission to allow the legal counsel from the American Optometric Association to come to the podium to address the House. There's been some issues out there that I'd like them to refer to specifically about antitrust.
Mr. Henry, please approach the podium.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've been asked to speak because the issue you've heard a couple times mentioned that there's a potential antitrust issue in this matter, and if you go forward with board certification, there may be antitrust ramifications. Well, let me start with a conclusion and then back in with a little analysis. That's just simply wrong. The analysis, I think maybe last year I addressed the House, and it was a different issue. But it was some antitrust, and I mentioned that our law firm is one of the few on a list that the United States federal government looked to handle antitrust cases, and we have taken over, and the federal government actually outsources handling of federal cases, and in particular the antitrust. And so our firm is one that handles antitrust cases for the federal government. So I say that only because we have a little bit of, we know the area fairly well. We looked at this issue at great detail actually 2 years ago, and we've looked at it since. And there's really no basis for an antitrust claim in this case. Now, could a claim be made? Of course. We know there are frivolous claims made from time to time. But on the other hand, there's really no claim. What's some validation for that statement if you don't believe the conclusion? There are many, many board certification programs in medicine, hundreds. This is not new. This is quite old, in fact. And as a point of, I guess, privilege, in fact, my daughter is board certified. She's a board certified OBGYN. But, you know, and where are the cases that say board certification is not available, not appropriate? There's none. There's none. And I guess also, you know, as a matter of public record, it's a matter of public record. There's a case was filed against ABO. It's on the record. You can go in, look at it online, and it was mentioned the other day that the court ruled on May 27th on granting a motion for summary judgment that there's no case. It's a matter of law. They said it doesn't even need to go to court. They granted a motion for summary judgment. Now, will continue post-judgment motions be made? Probably. You can't really stop that. And so whether a claim could be made or not, I'm not going to say. But I can tell you definitely there's not a valid antitrust case here. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Henry. Dr. Rosenblatt, microphone 3.
Thank you. I just want to make one point clear. This is not a resolution that is against the concept of board certification and the concept that was passed. The issue that is presented here is that this is against the endorsement by this association of a single commercial entity. It's two separate issues. So what Mr. Henry says, which is maybe true, that board certification has actually been looked at in his view to not be an issue within the law, and as medicine has hundreds of them, I don't believe the MAA or any of the others come out and support a single entity. That's all this resolution is asking for, is that the removal of the perhaps ABO as a specific mention, that commercial entity, is the problem, not the actual process or the board certification itself.
Microphone 9.
Mr. Speaker, Kevin Alexander. I was the Speaker of the House in 2009, and honest to Pete, I can't remember that we voted to endorse the ABO. I think we voted to join with ASCO and the Academy and the other founding organizations to form the ABO, but I don't think that we, as a House, voted to endorse the ABO in any way, shape, or form. I would yield to the minutes of that meeting, but I don't recall that.
Microphone 8.
Clark Newman again from Texas. Yeah, I concur with you, Dr. Alexander. We did not per se endorse that entity. Forgive me for being a slave to parliamentary custom, but there is a preamble to this resolution. And that preamble contains the rationale for why they're doing what they're doing. And throughout that preamble is an indictment of board certification. And we can't sit there and say, well, we're not killing the ABO, your board certification. We're just talking about our endorsement. That's like saying, I'm not killing the plant, I just ain't going to water it no more.
Microphone 5.
Mr. Speaker, Michael Frager from Florida. I rise in opposition to this resolution, and I will respectfully call the question.
It's not debatable and requires a second. Is there a second to call the question?
Jim Bacuzzi, Connecticut, second motion.
The motion has been made and seconded to call the question. All those in favor, and requires a majority vote. Two-thirds vote. All those in favor of calling the question, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Nay. Motion carries to call the question. The question is now before you and goes immediately to a vote. Motion has been made and seconded. Requires a majority vote for passage. What? Yes. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Nay. Motion fails. Dr. Klinger.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would ask you to take out your status report once more. Since I came to the podium, I have been informed that Resolution J, Affiliate Legal and Legislative Defense Fund, has been withdrawn by the sponsor. The next resolution I bring to you is Resolution F. The title is Call for the American Optometric Association to complete a feasibility study of member representative voting. The original source is the Optometric Society of the District of Columbia. This resolution is referred to the House without recommendation.
Microphone 3.
Michael Rosenblatt, Washington, D.C. Delegates. Mr. Speaker, I move that this House of Delegates adopt Resolution F.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last statement.
F, which is call for the American Optometric Association to complete a feasibility study of member representative voting.
This is F as amended, correct? No, this is F.
Not yet.
F. Okay, thank you. Is there a second to that motion? Microphone 2.
From ABO, Minnesota, I second this resolution.
Resolution has been made and seconded. Where are we? Microphone 3.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to make a motion to amend Resolution F, which I think will pop up on the screen here. If we get a second for that.
There's a motion to amend the resolution as per was distributed in your boxes this morning. Is there a second to the amendment? Microphone 2.
ABO, Minnesota, I second the amendment.
Amendment has been made and seconded. Now, discussion on the amendment. Microphone.
Would you like me to read the...
All right, we'll read it first.
Amendment, if you'd like.
Yes.
We don't have Dr. Klinger doing that, so I'll do it for him. I'll just read the resolve as he's done. Resolved that the AOA will conduct a feasibility study of a more representative voting system to be used at the AOA House of the Delegates sessions for elections of the AOA Board of Trustees by credentialed delegates, and further be it resolved that the AOA requests that each state affiliate's ideas for a new credentialed delegate voting system be brought for discussion at the 2012 House of Delegates.
We have a resolution made and amended. We are discussion on the amendment right now. We are going to be voting on the amendment first. Any discussion on the amendment? Microphone 3, are you? Okay, then have a seat. Is anyone standing at microphone 8? I don't think so. All right, no discussion, no further discussion on the amendment. The vote on the amendment, then all in favor of the amendment say aye. All opposed say nay. Nay. Nays have it. The motion is as presented to you, unamended, is now before you.